Hey man, this is the coach.
And I'm the Beacon. And this is the Point Blank Perspectives podcast.
I'm clapping it for myself. And you know what, man? I was sitting there thinking, and I've been talking to different people.
Okay.
And I noticed that a lot of people having problems as when it comes to communicating.
Okay.
And that's a real big problem if you're single or if you're married.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, communication is key for all types of different relationships.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure we've talked about this in spurts on different conversations that we've had about either relationships or just friendships or things like that in general. Because at the end of it, communication is like the base for maintaining a good relationship. If you don't have good communication with somebody, then likely the relationship is probably not going to be good.
Yeah, and that's true. And a lot of times we sit there, and I think what that I struggle with when I hear different people talk and they're telling me, because I like to deal with it when it comes to marriage. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to figure out, how is it that when I'm courting this woman, or we're figuring out dating, mm-hmm. and where we're going to get married. Why is it that the moment I say I do, communication is messed up? We seem like I do, but now I don't know how to communicate with you.
Well, I think part of that depends on the person, right? Because even if you just take the romantic relationships out of it, if you just have friendships, sometimes in friendships it gets like that. It's like you might have a friend that you see every day and y'all talk and y'all joke and you do all that stuff, and then, over time, y'all might not talk as much. Mm-hmm. Now, depending on how solid that friendship is, it's two things. Depending on how solid that friendship is, depends on whether y'all can maintain the same quality of friendship without communicating every single day like y'all were in the past. But the other part of it is sometimes in that distance, people's lives change and people change. So now, even when y'all do try to come back, the friendship is still there, but the perspectives and the mindset might be different for people.
Right.
Because your life is changing. You're
you're in a different place in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, and I understand that. I mean, I got my friends that I deal with. We communicate. Sometimes get a little crazy. Sometimes it gets a little crazy, especially I think when you're married. Mm-hmm. And for me, and I say this, there are 3 things that will kill your marriage. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things are communicate. We struggle with communication. Mm-hmm. Or it's when I'm married, I don't want to hurt this person's feelings, so I just won't say nothing. No, we that's not helping your relationship, your marriage out. It's just not doing that. It's doing more harm than it is doing hurt, than it is helping out your marriage.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes as a single person, it's the same thing. So one of the ways to keep your peace when you're single, mm-hmm. and dealing with, the opposite sex or dealing with your spouse or whatever, not your spouse, but the person who you're dealing with, is communication. Right. And being intentional with that communication. So it's the same thing you're saying, but just from a different perspective. It's like, okay, this is what the situation is for us in the moment that we're having the conversation. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, we're going into this situation. We're single. We're both single. We're looking to possibly make this more than us being 2 single people. Okay. Or the conversation might be, I'm single, you single, we just having a good time, and if we're both cool with that, then we'll proceed like that, and revisit later. Okay. But what happens sometimes is there's no conversation about that up front. And so now you got 2 people that's single. One person is thinking like, okay, this is fun and I'm enjoying it. And the other person's thinking, this is my next husband or my next boyfriend or my next girlfriend. And then now y'all get to a point where time done passed and they looking at you like, well, you like, what we doing? And the person like, what you mean what we doing? Like, I thought we was doing this and this. So it's important to have that conversation when you're single too, to avoid any type of disastrous conversations or
Yes.
events in the future.
I remember as a little kid, man, communication was so easy, especially when you liked a female. You just got that piece of paper and you write on a piece of paper.
Right.
You want to be my girlfriend? Yes or no? And then you give it to the girl. I'm going with
that was easy.
90% of the time. I always got to know.
I was about to say, yeah, 'cause that was traumatizing for me.
Always good. But in my thinking, I never gave up. That was the way I communicate myself. Don't give up, man.
Yeah.
Keep on going. And I would get it known. I'm like, okay, no problem. And I would go at another person. I got to know a lot of times. what did really
Coach is just at the gym shooting his shot all day long.
Listen, I'm shooting my shot. I mean, they is blocking it all left and right, but I really didn't care. But as I sat back and I thought about it, those were the best communications because it was straight up. It was no, I'm not too sure. You know, to me, who are the best communicators?
No.
Little kids, because they have no filter, and older people that feel as though, the older people that feel as though, I feel as though I can say what I want to say because I reached a certain age.
Yeah.
I don't care what age you reach. Don't mean you can still talk. But and you be like, you know what? It's cool. You seen a lot, and a lot of times, an older person will drop a lot of jewels your way, especially if they care about you.
Right.
And that's the way they communicate with you. A little kid, if they tell you straight how it is, they don't care because they don't really mean to hurt your feelings. Well, wait, let me take that back. At a certain age, that may change. But a little kid, they don't. They just, this is what they say. This is what it is.
How little you talking?
I'm talking about when they're able to express themselves.
So what, like 4?
Maybe, right.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. Okay. About 4, yeah. Yeah, we'll go with 4. Yeah. Well, I feel that whenever you're able to express yourself and you just go ahead and express yourself.
Well, no, I know you were talking about you liked the kids and the older folks, and you basically said because they have no filter, basically. One way or another, they don't have no filter. They don't tell you how they feel.
No filter. Mm-mm.
I guess the thing that I like about the in-between, because I love talking to people like that, but I think the thing that I prefer, if we're talking about dealing with the opposite sex and knowing, I prefer where, like, the older I got versus when because you were talking about, like, probably, like, middle school, high school type stuff.
What you talking about? The little people?
With the with the notes on the paper.
Oh, yeah. You
talking about, like, middle, like, all right. So I'm saying for
junior
me,
high.
Yeah, so I'm saying with that part of the communication conversation, I prefer, like, now where there is kind of that gray area, because I think I have more insight into whether somebody's interested or not versus when I was younger. Like, I didn't have the insight to know whether somebody was interested in me or not. But now that I'm older, it's like I can kind of read the room a little bit and pick up on certain things.
I hear you. But when you a junior high and you write that note and you pass it over to that girl, and she look at it, the first sign of communication where you know you may or may not have a chance, what's the first thing you did? I'm gonna tell you what I did. I looked at her face. Because after she looked at the note, her face is going to, if she smiled, I got a chance. If there was a face like, ew, there was no chance. I didn't even look her way no more after that. And not only did I try to communicate that I liked you, you now communicate how bad you're going to talk about me because you passed the note around. That type of communication. And then we get into, now when I got into high school, No, that wasn't happening. Because by that time, you should know how to talk. By that time.
I don't think I did.
Seriously?
I still don't think I do, honestly. Like, I don't think I... And every time I say that, people look at me like I'm crazy. But I think the reason why I say that is because I don't view myself as somebody that has, like, lines or, like, a preset strategy. I kind of, like, read the room and read the person and kind of go from there.
So you be yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine.
But I'm saying that the people in high school, that from what I remember...
Okay.
Or what I've seen, I ain't gonna say like everybody was like this, but I just remember in moments in which I saw a guy talk to a girl, it was always like they had some sort of line that they would use or some sort of game that they would run, and you know the girl.
Or they play sports.
Yeah, but that ain't even communication. I'm talking about like the person that tried to pursue.
Got you.
Because we talking about communication,
right?
So I'm saying, in the moments that I saw people try to get the girl, it was always like with some sort of clever line or
right.
Some sort of type of game that they were running. And I never had those things when I was younger. When I got older, it's not so much like that I got game, but it was almost like I learned how to respond better to things.
Okay. I think for me, talking about Angie, you know, she asked, she said, what are we doing here? Same thing. What are we doing here? And I'm like, doing what? I was one of those doing what? She said, are we going to pursue this and go further, or, you know? I said, well, if we don't, could we still be friends? She said, no. She said, no, we can't be friends.
But that's straight up.
Yeah.
So at least now you know.
Then I appreciate it.
Right.
But I already knew I wanted to marry her.
Right.
So I was like,
but that's important. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've had conversations with women while I've been single where it was like, they've asked me like, okay, well, what are you looking for? What are you trying to do? And I tell them like, I'm trying to be single. Like, I enjoy being single right now. And so based on when I say that, depends on whether they continue with the relationship or they say, you know what, that's not really what I'm looking for, and they go their way.
But at least you straight up.
Right. Right.
I can go with somebody that's straight up. Even if it may hurt my feelings, just be straight up with me.
Right.
Don't lead me down the road to get slaughtered and you not even telling me ahead of time.
Right.
Tell me straight up, listen, we're gonna go down here and I'm gonna kill you. I'm with that. You know what I mean? So I can brace for it.
That's a bit extreme. All right.
Like even when I'm at work, my supervisor and the president, the vice president, they know just be straight up with me. And I can appreciate that more.
Yeah.
You know, work is... See, I never was in the corporate world. How was the communicating in that situation?
It all depends on who you're dealing with.
Okay.
Because there's pockets of people in corporate America. There's people that are going to be straight up with you because they care. There's going to be some people that'll tell you one thing and do another, or smile in your face, say one thing, and then go behind your back and think or do or say something else. But you just got to read the room when it comes to corporate America. Corporate America probably is the biggest, or one of the biggest mental straining things that people that aren't inside of it don't understand. Because a lot of people think, oh, you just sit at a desk and you just on a computer all day, or you're not doing physical labor. But it's so much mental and emotional I don't want to use the word trauma. I don't want to use the word abuse. Those are the first two words that came to my mind.
Dang.
Because I don't really mean that when I say it, but I'm just saying there's so many things that you're impacted by mentally and sometimes emotionally in corporate America because of the games that they play. Like when you used to I worked in blue collar before I went to a white collar job, and when I worked in blue collar job, you knew exactly how somebody felt about you.
Right. In
corporate America, somebody will smile in your face and say all the right stuff to you, but then they'll go behind your back and talk bad about you to other people, and you won't even know it.
And you can't react the way you want to,
right?
Because that'll be negative.
Yes.
I couldn't work in corporate.
Or you have to be able to, or even if you respond to it, you have to navigate doing that in a certain way. You can't just go off of your emotional reaction.
Well, wait. All right, hold on. Wait a minute. Give me a 20 for a second. You're getting ready to tell me that someone can sit up there and abuse me with words and degrade me, and I can't do anything back. Is that what you're telling me?
It's not that you can't do anything back, but you have to understand that in corporate America, it's all about perception. So depending on who the person is that's doing it, and I've never had anybody do that to me, so I'm not speaking from experience, but I'm just saying,
I got you.
In the event that happens to you in corporate America, you now have to you have to understand who you are and where you rank versus where that person is and where they rank.
Oh, okay.
Because they could pull a power move on you. And if they've already got their name solidified with the right people, it ain't gonna matter what you say.
Okay, so that's a heck of a communication skill,
right,
that you need to have.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
And then also too, it's verbal and nonverbal communication stuff it's that you got to deal with, because it's the stuff that people say either to you or about you that's detrimental to you, or it's the stuff that they don't say. So like they might treat you a certain way, or they might view you a certain way, or they might have a perception about you that they're not saying to you, but they're thinking it.
Okay.
Like they might put a limitation on what your abilities are based on how they might feel about you. So I'm just saying there's a lot of things that go into the whole corporate thing.
Communicating.
That are different than other areas of life.
Okay. All right. Wow. Thank you for that information.
It's a lot.
I did not know that when it came to communication, and that I thought it was, okay, we may do an email, cool, and just keep it moving.
I mean, that's how it should be.
Okay.
in all seriousness, that's how it should be. But, people have their ways of doing things, or people have their preconceived notions of what they think about people without really knowing the person.
Gotcha. And
you got to deal with all that stuff.
Okay.
Especially when you person of color, or that sort of thing.
So why? You know what? I think communication is important because, one, it will let someone know how you feel. Mm-hmm. Two, you're able, if it's done with I'm talking about with your partner, your wife or your husband, no judgment. Mm-hmm. I'm able to, and that's with me and Angie. Mm-hmm. When we want to vent, that's another sign of communicating.
Right.
Where I get the vent. Well, me and Angie, there is no judgment. Mm-hmm. Now we may judge each other laughing and all that, but when we serious and we want to talk about something, we want to communicate, we're able to just let it out. Mm-hmm. And that's the great thing about being married. For me, I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, that's a great thing. I am fortunate.
Your wife is not here to speak about what she loves about communication.
Yeah, well, I'm speaking for her.
I'm speaking for her.
I'm speaking for her. No, just joking.
Let me see. So in terms of why I think communication is important, it's because, and I'll say it in a simple way first. Like, the reason I think communication is important is because as long as I know where I'm going, I'll never be lost.
Ooh, okay.
So the reason why communication is important is because it's telling me where I need to be going.
Okay.
If you let me know, if you communicate to me properly or effectively, I'll know how to interact with you.
Okay.
I'll know what our relationship should and should not be.
Okay.
If you don't communicate those things to me, then I'm always be either walking on eggshells or not sure of how to engage with you, or thrown off by things that maybe you didn't communicate earlier on or when I asked you, and now we always having an issue.
And that's where arguments come in at.
Right. But that's why I'm saying, as long as I know where I'm going, I'll never get lost. So that's how I view communication. As long as you tell me, or as long as we're able to talk and I can have a clear path of, okay, this is who I'm dealing with, this is what you're dealing with, this is what you expect, or whatever that conversation is, I can now navigate that much better than you not telling me anything and me trying to figure it out on my own.
Okay. All right. So, let me tell you something.
What?
The worst person, I don't know if I want to use the word worst, but I'm going to use the word worst.
That's fine.
The worst person I hate to deal with is someone that's a bad communicator.
Yeah.
Oh, they are the worst. And I say, yo, why you ain't just say that? And you know what pisses me off when they say, I don't know. What the fuck? What do you mean you don't know? Come on. Oh, man. Or, my bad. What? 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 Oh, so, no. They bad. You, Angie, I don't know, but just you and Angie, you two people.
Well, what do we do?
The communication when it comes to time. Oh boy, you're her and it's Sable, but y'all taught me.
But I'm trying to understand what the problem is.
No, we gotta be somewhere, and let's be somewhere.
Whoa. Define be somewhere. Because see, that's the difference. That is the difference between you and me and my cousin.
Right.
Because the definition of be somewhere is need to be somewhere at this time versus would like me to be there at this time. There's two different things. It's two different things. So perfect example. If it's a life event, if it's very important and I have to be there by that time, I will be there. If it's a wedding, if it's a surprise party, if it's a graduation or something like that, if I need to be there, or if I promised to give you a ride somewhere and I told you I was going to get you there by that time, I'm going to do those things. But if you just invite me somewhere and tell me, oh, we doing this from this time to this time. Oh, what time I need to be there? Oh, we going to be around. All right. I'm not showing up at the beginning. Why would I do that? That don't even make sense. And you know what? I got burned by that a couple days ago. I went to an event a couple days ago. Listen, no, we ain't gonna get into that. I went to the event a couple days ago.
I know what you told.
They told me a certain time.
I know. I was shocked when
I showed up late, and the event still wasn't ready. And you know what happened when you show up early to an event where it's not mandatory? You end up becoming the setup crew. And that's why I personally don't show up to things on time that ain't mandatory.
Because when I got there, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
What is he doing here?
Well, no, I was going to go.
Right.
But I'm just saying, that's why I don't show up early than nothing. Because when I walked up, they still put stuff up on the wall, trying to do this and that. And I'm like, yo, man, I ain't coming out. I'm sitting around waiting. No, man.
Yeah, I get it. So that situation was bad communication because they said it's supposed to start at a certain time.
Exactly.
Okay.
But my thing with bad communicators, and it's probably the same thing that you're saying now, but the people that don't say anything, because you're saying and it's probably the same thing you just said, because you said they'd be like nothing or my bad, but
no, it's different. No. I know what you're talking about.
Did you say nothing?
No, I did not say nothing.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking. But we went down another road.
Yeah, listen.
So that's my thing of bad communicators. A person that don't say nothing, and I ask you, yo, is we good? Oh yeah, we cool. Now 2 months later, now you want to come back at me with not only what just happened now, but you want to talk about something that happened 2 months ago. When I asked you though, that was cool, wasn't no problem. That's a bad communicator for real.
Right. Now, you know what bad communication? When you married and you're having a conversation with your spouse and your spouse asks you something and you respond, but your spouse doesn't like your response and they just shut down. And there's nothing else. We good. I'm all right. I'm all right. Never mind. Wait a minute. But we still. No, that's all right. I don't even want to talk about it no more.
Yeah, that'd be the worst.
What?
That'd be the worst job.
Man, listen. My mom do that to me. Yeah. My mom do that to me. She asks me something, and I'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "No, mom." And then I give, and I'm giving her my answer. She don't like my answer at all. So what does she do? She don't say nothing else.
Right.
And I'm driving. My mom don't drive, as you already know. And then she's sitting in the passenger seat. when she don't like the answer that I give her, she turns and look out the window for the rest of the ride. It don't say nothing else to me. When she first did it to me, it threw me off. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, what's going on here? What are we doing here? And I said, Mom, she never said nothing to me the rest of the ride. So now, and I was upset. So now, when she do that to me, I just turn the radio up. I turn the radio up, and I just like, oh well, you ain't speaking to me anyway, so I'm gonna turn my music on. She like the gospels. I may turn on some R&B. I'm turning my music up since she don't want to talk.
So both of y'all petty, basically.
yeah.
Both of y'all.
Man,
petty.
I'm not petty. Okay, I'm not petty, but. Don't do that to me, Mom. Mom, shout out to you, but don't do that to me. Well, don't do that to me. You know what I mean? Also, I'm trying to figure out as far as, like, you got that person that sits up there and, all right, so now I'm talking to you, all right? And we having a good, I feel as though we're having a good dialogue. That's what you mean. We're having a good dialogue. And then all of a sudden, you get on the phone in the middle of having our conversation. That burns me up. Especially if we're trying to work this out. And then all of a sudden, hold on. Or you give me the finger and on your phone. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm trying to get the answer from you.
You know who bad communicators, now that you just said that?
Who that?
Single moms. Single moms are bad communicators.
Wait a minute now.
No, listen, let me finish.
You need to finish,
let
man.
Let me tell you why single moms are bad communicators. And I'm saying this jokingly, mostly.
Mostly? Okay, go ahead.
Most of why I'm saying this is jokingly.
Okay, go ahead.
If for any guy, or even females, if you got a single mom friend, y'all all have been on the phone with that single mom female, and you talking to him, and next thing you know, she talking to you, and she, put that down.
Oh,
shut up. Like, and it don't matter what the conversation is. Right. At a certain point, she got to deal with that kid. You right. I love the single moms, but I'm just letting you know, every once in a while, they are bad communicators because they trying to multitask. They trying to talk to you. Right. And don't let it be a good conversation. Like, don't let y'all be like in the midst of having a good conversation and all of a sudden she got to jump into the parent. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah, you right. I give you that.
So, yeah, it's that. And then another thing that I was thinking about when it came to bad communication is the person who don't let you talk. So it's like they'll say their part, and then they'll act like they letting you say your part. As soon as you talk and say something they don't want to hear, they jump right back in the conversation. And you ain't even finished your thought. I just let you go for 5 minutes listening.
Okay.
And then they're like, all right, well, say what you got to say. And then you like, all right, so I was thinking this. No, but all I was saying was, like, yo.
Right.
Yo, can I say anything? Right. I can't stand that.
Yeah,
either.
that's true. That's
like
true.
some people do not know. Like, and those people most of the time think that they're listening to you.
Right. Okay.
They think because they heard what you said, they're listening to you, but the reality is you didn't listen to what I said because you didn't even let me finish.
But now, when you said that had me thinking. A listener is a person that's a good communicator.
Yeah.
If I'm listening to what you're saying, the reason why I say you're a good communication because when you respond, you took in everything I said.
Right.
And then you go ahead and you will respond. That means you're listening to what I'm saying. That means we're going to communicate. And that reminds me when, I resort back to me and Angie. You know, when me and Angie, when we have our daily talks, it's usually like on Saturday, something like that. And it's always over. I say if you're gonna spouse, if you want to have a conversation with your spouse, do it where it's the setting is fine. Either if y'all both like coffee, do it over coffee. If you gotta go out, go get something to eat, but you need to have you need to be able to communicate. Right. So with me and Angie, and I've always said, I'll start off, how did I mess up? And now she's talking and I'm listening. I'm not interrupting her. I'm not being a bad communicator because I want to hear what she has to say. Because to me, it's very important because it's messing up. It's messing up me not get to my goal. Let me say that. Okay, let me say that. I'm gonna get to my goal. But
oh goodness.
Excuse me. So that's also what we do as far as, and that had me think when you brought it up, like, dang, you know what? That's a good sign of communication. Is somebody that just listens.
Yeah.
And different now.
Another. No, because I still wanted to jump back to the bad communication, because bad communication is important. It's important for a person to know that they're a bad communicator, but have you ever have you ever dealt with a bad communicator, and how did you deal with them?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And for me, if I realize in the middle of us communicating that my checklist of what is a bad communicator, you're hitting a couple of them points, I start to shut the conversation down.
So what's your checklist?
Not listening, over talking. You're not even in my mind. You look like you're not even paying me any mind. You're not even nothing. You don't have to. A good communicator, you don't have to look at me because you don't listen with your eyes. You listen with your ears. So if I'm like, all right, you listen, all right, fine. But if you're not none of that, nah.
I kind of disagree with that.
With what?
The eye part. Because to me, you're right. You don't listen with your eyes, but I think that you showing me your eyes when I'm talking to you is a sign of respect, and it's a sign of showing me that you're paying attention. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to do that.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, if I'm talking to you and you got your back to me, that's a problem. If I'm talking to you and you're kind of like looking, not necessarily at me, but maybe you looking down at my shirt, because maybe you're thinking as I'm talking.
Right.
I can go for that.
Right.
But in I think ideally I would prefer for the person that I'm talking to, especially if it's a serious conversation, to at least be looking me in my face when I'm talking to them. Because then that way I know that they're seeing, not just hearing what I'm saying, but you're actually seeing whether there's some sort of emotion tied to what I'm saying.
Okay.
So you see how serious I am. You see how hurt I was.
Okay.
And you're taking all of that in as I'm saying it to you. But to me, if you're not even looking at me, I'm like, well, are you even hearing what? Because now I got a question as I'm talking. If you're not looking at me, are you even listening to what I'm saying? Do you even understand how serious this is for me to have this conversation with you? Like, if you're not looking at me, you might not.
So now, let me ask you this question. So now, the person's not looking at you.
Right.
Do you stop and say, you hear what I'm saying? You do.
I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Now, I can't say that 100% because I guess it depends on the conversation. But ideally, yeah, I would stop and be like, are you listening to what I'm saying? Or?
Okay, because Angie did that to me one time. And I had my head down and I'm listening to what she's saying. And it's like, all right, I hear you. And then she was like, did you hear what I said? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, all right, what did I say? And I laid it all out. And she just looked at me. I said, I listen with my ears, not my eyes.
Right.
I don't need to look at you. I'm listening to. I said, I got my head down because I'm taking this all in.
Right.
I'm understanding what you're saying, and I'm processing it in my. I gotta process the way I process it. Okay, this is what she's saying to me. All right, cool. And then from that point on, she never asked me, are you listening to what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm listening to what you saying.
Right.
To me.
Right. No, I 100% agree with that because I'm a person that's like that. Like when somebody's talking to me about something, I'm processing, but I'm not looking at them. But I think when I go back to communicate to them, I try to look them in the eye or in the face so that they can understand, okay, yes, I heard what you said, and now here's my rebuttal to whatever it is that you said. So the eye contact is not meant to mean that the entire conversation, we gotta be locked eyes. We ain't gotta be locking eyes the entire conversation.
We locking eyes together.
Right. But it's just to say that at least at some point, or at least at a decent amounts of the conversation, there should be a good level of good eye contact, because that lets the person know that you are paying attention and you do care.
Right.
And
Yeah. Now, as the years move on, communication advance. Because before, you had to go to the rotophone in your house to communicate, and
that's
a
before
lot
my
of
time.
people. Seriously?
Yeah, it's before my time.
Oh my!
Like, I saw that phone, but
Oh Jesus! Don't say that. Just we moving with time. I
I mean, you don't want to give the history lesson. I'm just letting you.
We had this little rotophone or the punch in the but. Yeah, that was the way we communicated. And then all of a sudden,
the smoke signals.
then all of a sudden, it came with the cell phones, or was it the sidekick?
Oh, you know what? The beepers.
Oh yeah, the beepers,
the pages.
Right, the pages. The dentist with the sidekicks.
Yeah, I mean, you had like your mobile phone,
okay,
and then you had your sidekicks and all that.
Right now, all of a sudden, it is. You got a computer in your hand.
I mean, you got Android or Apple.
Yeah, Android or Apple, or listen, these Chinese people come with their own company and their phones look nice.
Yeah.
But I'll stick with Samsung. Shout out to Samsung. no, I ain't getting paid for it. No matter. Shout out to Samsung. No.
Yeah.
But and then as time evolved, communication evolved. Remember back in the caveman, they say it was smoke. There was smoke where smoke signals go up. They're communicating. And then time moves on, we start to communicate more.
So the communication is different, but the importance of communication has always been there.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least that's what I'm going to decide, that's where you're going with
this. Yeah, because the importance of communication has always been the same. I'm trying to get my point across. I need you to understand what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what someone may think or how they may feel at that time when I'm trying to get my point across. I just need you to understand, to communicate with me. Why? So I feel as though we could be on the same page. We may not be reading out the same book, because I may, whatever the situation is, we all interpret it. We all look at it differently. I want to use the word interpret it.
Interpret.
Bam, here we go. Talk to me. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Yeah, that's what I want to say. But I say we all look at it differently.
No, Coach, you're right about that. And if there's anybody who knows about how you communicate, I mean, outside of your wife, she probably knows you the best in terms of your communication. But after a year doing this podcast with you and knowing you for years before that, the difficulty. Say no, I'm playing. No, I'm playing. But I think that is one of the things that has been pretty cool about this podcast, is that you and I both have our ways of communicating,
right? But
we find a way to kind of read how each other communicate and how to pick up on certain things, and that's what kind of helps us to flow with the podcast. I mean, our conversations really flow. Right. I know I've had people ask me like, how many takes do y'all do, or how long does it normally take for y'all to do an episode? And I tell them, I'm like, it's normally a one take thing. Like, we normally just sit down and just go right through, because we so used to talking with each other and we understand how each other communicate. Sometimes you could go off the rail. I got to reel you back in. But for the most part, I think we have a good communication style. So and understanding. So
man, it is what it is. But we're definitely going to get into we're going to do another. We're going to have another tape. We may bring someone on, but my final. Do I really want to do a final perspective on this whole thing? How I feel?
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know.
Why'd your voice just change?
I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? My final perspective on this communication thing is, it's good to communicate. We as married people, we should always be communicating. It's always something going on in marriage. Communicate. even if just to check in. Yo, you good? I'm good. And just check in, and communication is what you need to keep your marriage successful, flourish, and be on one accord. Because it's part of my 3 things that will kill your marriage. I may go on tour with that. Oh, anything you want to say? I'm sorry. Anything you want to say? Go ahead. I'm back.
Well, I think my final perspective on this conversation is that regardless of whether you're married or in a relationship or single, communication is always key. It's the foundation of whatever relationship that you have. Whether it's a work relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a blood relationship, like it doesn't matter the relationship, communication is always going to be key. So I hope that for the people that are listening, that if you don't have good communication relationships with the folks that you're dealing with, or good communication in the relationships that you're in, regardless of where they are, I hope that you would, after hearing this, want to work on that.
Yes.
However you need to work on it. And also, too, and we kind of touched on this in the art of arguing, because I also want to be clear about that, too. There's a time and a place to have certain conversations. So when it comes to communication, it's not always important that you have that conversation in the heat of that exact moment. Sometimes it's okay for you to step away and then come back to a conversation. So communication is not just the talking part of it, but it's also the listening and also the knowing of the understanding the other person. Some people get too upset to have, difficult conversations at the moment. So sometimes you got to give them their space and then come back to it. So when it comes to this communication thing, that's the foundation, but you got to understand all of the verbal and nonverbal keys when it comes to it. So that's my final perspective.
All right. On that note, man, this is definitely the coach.
And I'm the Beacon. And this is the Point Blank Perspectives podcast.
And before we sign out, man, like, share, let us know. Give us some feedback on what you think, good or bad. I really don't care. That's just me.
How you gonna tell them you don't care?
You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I'm just giving you just a good communication. My feelings won't be hurt. So
mixed communication.
Yeah. So on that note, man, we say we out. Peace.